Hi, my name's Whitney Kell, and I am so fortunate to be reading from the Love Cards today by Robert Lee Camp. And one of the cards that I wanted to share about by the way, this book is basically the deck of playing cards. And there's a vibrational meaning that he ties to them through the planets. And sevens is the one I'm going to read today. So if you have a seven in your chart, this is the basic overall meaning of the sevens. Seven is the first of what I call the spiritual numbers, 9 being the other. 7 in some ways is the most significant. If we take all the cards from one suit of the deck and lay them out from the ace to the king, from the left to the right, the 7 will fall in the exact center. That's what I love about this. There are 7 visible planets, 7 days of the week, 7 chakras in the body, and 7 seals mentioned in the book of Revelations in the Bible. The number 7 has great significance in the calculation used to create the yearly spreads and other calculations involving esoteric mathematics and geometry. It has always been regarded as an important spiritual symbol and is used in many religions and cultures. As another of the odd numbers, 7 represents a state of imbalance and a movement away from status and balance. In this case, the movement is away from the stability of the 6, because the 6 can represent that state of receiving instructions and directions from a higher source. The 7 represents a stepping off from that place into what could be a scary place where nothing is known for sure, the mystery. In the 7, we step away from the security that comes from organization and harmony in the external world and are asked to find peace and contentment within ourselves in spite of external circumstances. To do this represents a high spiritual state of being and one that is not easily obtained. Even Jesus said that it is more difficult for a man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. The 7 is the gateway to the kingdom of heaven. It's at its very essence, the 7 represents faith. People with 7 birth cards walk the line between the mundane and the spiritual, and they get the chance to experience both during the course of their life. However, being a 7, they are not truly content and happy unless they are in the spiritual side of life. When they are carefree and full of appreciation for the wonder and splendor of their life, they are happy and content. They are carefree because they live knowing that all of their needs are being provided for. They have a direct connection to a higher source that guarantees they will be taken care of. They have no worries in the world and are actually experiencing higher states of consciousness and spiritual consciousness. When the 7 person falls back into the material world, they meet with untold problems and concerns. They are afraid of not having enough. They feel insecure and unloved. They worry, and this worry tortures them. They try to manipulate others and their environment to protect themselves, but it just makes matters worse. They can become morose and depressed, and in some cases develop very negative attitudes about life that seems to perpetuate their misery. Miserable or miserly is a good description of the 7 person who's operating on the mundane side of their personalities. They live in a world where there just isn't enough. Having been born a 7 actually means that this life will be sort of a do or die crash course in spiritual style. It's interesting. The 7 person, probably more than any other card in the deck, will not be able to get away with any behavior that is less than living in the truth. I like that. The ultimate truth is that we are all loved and cared for by God, the universe, or whatever you want to call it. The 7 person will have to walk and live in this truth or suffer greatly as a consequence. As a result, we find that 7s often come in 2 varieties. Those who are very happy and unattached about things in their life, and those who are unhappy and worried all the time. So which are you? The ones that are unattached seem to live magical lives where things just come to them when they need it. They are giving and understanding, and for the most part carefree about their needs being met. They are often engaged in service to others and are capable of great deeds for the cause of humanity. The other sevens are living in a world of lack and poverty, trickery, and manipulation. They are rarely happy with their life. It is interesting to note that most of the seven have power cards that are their first karma card. The Seven of Hearts has the Eight of Hearts. The Seven of Clubs has the Eight of Diamonds. The Seven of Clubs or Spades has the King of Diamonds. All of these connections indicate the misuse of power in a former incarnation. Many people of these cards come into the life with a tendency to force things to get their way, along with a habit of avoiding responsibility for their own fears and insecurities. Now is the lifetime. Each time they assert their power from the wrong place, they run into innumerable obstacles and suffer as a result. It is only when they learn the use of power to help others that they find that things work out in their favor. So the seven is constantly challenged and is not an easy path for most. But possibilities for experiencing higher states of consciousness and being are also present. Many sevens accomplish what no other card in the deck can: spiritual enlightenment and freedom from the cares of the world. I hope this was helpful for you. Reading from the love cards. If you have a seven in your chart or you are a seven, this is your reading. And I just want to say that when you do your own personal work, I find that the higher side of the seven is usually the experience that people have. And I hope this landed for you. Cheers. Aloha.